Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. Hello, Dental 18 listeners. This is Kiera, and you guys, I hope today is just this awesome, magical day for you. I hope you're loving it, and I hope you truly do remember that, guys, guess what? We are so blessed to be working, in my opinion, in the best industry you could ever ask to work for. So guys, today I wanted to dive into just kind of a fun topic. This is going to be life for you guys. So, sometimes we'll talk dentistry, sometimes we'll talk life, because I don't believe that you can have one without the other. I think we need to grow you guys as people. We need to make you have the most incredible lives you can possibly have, because when we're happy as individuals, we're better at work, we're better employees, we're better dentists, we're better bosses, we're better spouses, we're better family members. So let's make you guys the best that you can be. So guys, if this podcast has blessed your life in any way, and I'm going to start sharing reviews every single week. So if you want to be highlighted on next week's podcast, be sure to go leave a review. Do it on the Apple one. That's the one that I'll be pulling from. So head on over to the Dental team on the Apple. If you want me to read it, you can always email in. If you don't listen on Apple, you can email hello@thedental18.com. But I want to start reading a review from a fan and a listener. So right now, guys, I am pulling it up. I want to read a review that just came through. And guys, again, if you want to be one of these people, please, by all means, send it in. I would love to hear from you because this is going to make all of us even better. If you guys don't know, your reviews are the way more dentists and dental offices and dental practices are able to find you guys. So this is last name Mendez who wrote a review. So thanks. Shout out to last name Mendez. Listen to the podcast during my break and it helped me completely change the way I felt about my job. So entertaining. Thank you so much. So if you want to be the highlighted review, please reach out, hello@thedental18.com, or go leave it on Apple. I really want to start doing shout outs to our listeners, start to give you guys those kudos and appreciation. And with that, today, guys, our topic today is going to be how to truly be happy in your career. So I feel I can speak about this authentically. I feel like I can come to you guys with so much knowledge and goodness, not because I think I'm an expert on it. You guys, I haven't studied happiness. There are so many books. The Happiness Project, Solve for Happy, 10% Happier. Those are three of my top favorite books on this topic. Untethered Soul, I think, can help you figure out why you're not happy. But a lot of these things I feel are coming from real life boots on the ground experience. So what I found is last year, guys, I was up against the walls of depression. And I've shared about it a little bit on the podcast. When I gave the question of what is really making you guys, like, did 2022 win or did you win? Like, which one was it? And when I talk about that, I feel 2022 in a lot of ways, business, if you look at my numbers, you'd be like, holy cow, they grew so much. They had so many great things. And on paper, it looked like I should have had one of the best years. We bought our first house. Guys, I lived in an apartment for 18 years. I lived with my parents for 18 years. It's really weird to own a house, guys. I still feel like it's my mom's house. I don't really know how to be a homeowner. So any tips, email them in hello@thedental18.com. Jason and I, we did IVF last year. And while it was really hard, we had 3 failed IVF cycles. I'm not making as many eggs and I truly was devastated. If any of you know any awesome IVF doctors, I would prefer West Coast. So I'm looking for Utah, California, Nevada. It doesn't matter about insurance because I'm in out of pocket. But if any of you know, I figure why not reach out to the podcast family. But if you looked, my life on paper looked pretty darn great. I went to Bali at the end of the year. I hit my 7th continent. And again, if you look on paper, my life was pretty awesome. And honestly, I felt really angry and frustrated of Kiera, you have everything. Why are you not happier? I even went to a seminar called Happiness. It was Happiness Journey or the Journey to Happiness. It was a 5-day seminar, guys, on how to be happier. Like when we talk about this, it really was interesting to me. And I went to Bali and I watched people in Bali, and honestly, they are way happier than a lot of the people I know in the US. And yet we have way more than people in Bali do. So I started doing this assessment. And honestly, when I was in Bali, guys, I felt like I was able to release so much of the hurt, the sadness, the devastation of not becoming a mom. Guys, I know there's like adoption and a bajillion other things. For me, though, I had my mindset on I really wanted to be a mom where I carried the baby, but then I also didn't know if I really wanted to like change and transform my body. So don't worry, it's like all these internal questions that I have. I think you guys could probably relate of I want to own a business, but I don't know if I really want to have the stress of a business, or I want to be an office manager, but I don't know if I have the skill set to become that, or I want to be a lead hygienist, but I don't know if I really want the stress of that. I think we can all relate in a lot of different ways. Um, and so when I was in Bali, I released a lot of that. And I feel like I had that moment of surrender, and I truly felt so happy, so liberated. I just felt, I would say, complete and whole. And I started thinking about like, well, what was different? And one, I was with Jason, so that was a lot of fun. Two, I didn't have the stress of the business. Like, awesome, kudos to the team, they were taking care of it. But really, I think it was that I I was seeing beauty again. I was out being creative. And for me, my happy space is to be creative, to be rocking and rolling, and to be creating and to evolving, and to be like, that's why I love to travel. But I thought, okay, there's got to be a way that I can have happiness all the time. Because I just read a book, The Happiest Man Alive. I'm pretty confident that's the name, by Eddie Jaku. Guys, top one, if not two books of my life. Um, Utterly changed it. It's a Nazi Holocaust survivor, honest to goodness, most life changing book I think I've ever read. So I was really pondering this because I'd read that book. I'd gone to this happiness thing. I'd read all these books on happiness. I had felt sad. I go to Bali, I release it all. I have one of the most incredible trips of my life. Like, we're talking again, top one, if not two trips of my life. Antarctica is the only one rivaling it right now. But I started thinking, so I come home from all that. My team did amazing. All these things are in play. Business is rocking. We have raving fans. And guys, I hit wicked depression as soon as I got home. Like, thinking about, do I really even want to keep doing this? What does it even matter? Um, and I remember calling my mom at midnight. I don't know if you guys follow Twitch. Twitch committed suicide. His wife Allison, they are on Dancing with the Stars, and I do have a love for them. I actually met them at Disneyland, and I took a picture with their family. And um, to think about that, I started talking to my mom, like, okay, there's got to be signs. There's got to be patterns. I believe that there are patterns. There are things that come up to it. Like, so many of us outwardly express happiness, but internally are really struggling. And I don't think that this is just reserved for business owners. I think team members of every level have this, and I think this is becoming more and more and more a product of our society, of our lifestyles. I read another great book. I felt it was a little over the top religious. So if you can get past that, again, I'm a pretty religious person too. But it's called Find Your People by Jenny Phillips. And I realized, like, oh my gosh, I'm isolating myself from so many people rather than bringing people into my world. And so I was just like, how could I have this pendulum swing of everything looks so high on paper? And yet I feel like I don't even want to get out of bed tomorrow. And I called my mom. It was midnight. Kudos to my mom. Guys, she will be a podcast star. I am going to bring her on the podcast. I feel like it's due time. You guys meet the woman who has inspired me so much. But I called her and I just said, Mom, like, I don't know why I'm so unhappy. Um, you would think that I would have all this happiness. Sure, there are things that have come that have been hard. All of us have that. And I started thinking about it, and my mom and I realized a couple of things. Number one, my biggest stress was the business, and I didn't have an exit strategy. So I would say for all business owners, figure out what is your greatest stress. If it's cash flow, guys, guess what? Dental team can fix that. If it's team and systemizations and accountability, there are coaches. We are one of them. There are other ones. There are people that can solve that problem for you like that. That can be taken away. For me, I've never had an exit strategy. You guys, as dental practice owners, you can sell your practice. If life really gets that hard, you can sell it. For me with a consulting company, maybe, but not super. It's not something that you build a consulting company to sell it. You typically don't have an exit plan. And I have this stress of, what if something happened? What if I couldn't continue to deliver? What am I going to do with all of my clients? So I needed an exit strategy, which I now have, and it's going to serve all of our clients. It's going to continue to serve you. But if something happens and I get to a spot where I need to vacate, I do have an option now. So that was one of my biggest stressors that was causing me to just feel this undue stress. And once that was eliminated, the happiness was able to return. The second thing is, I do believe that progress equals happiness. So looking around my life, a lot of things weren't moving forward. Things that were easy for me were moving forward, but the hard things weren't. So I realized that that was there. And I did a podcast on this a little while ago. And what I found is every time I'm feeling stressed, depressed, there are solutions to it. I just have to want to find it. Sometimes I want to feel miserable. Sometimes I want to be sad. But at the end of the day, what I really want to feel is happy all the time. And what I found is that doesn't just come by happenstance. You find it, you create it, and you cherish it. It doesn't just happen, guys. Happiness is not just something, but I do believe that it is a habit. I do believe that we can build momentum. I do believe, especially coming from someone who has been depressed, and I never even knew what depression was, to where I was clinically depressed and they wanted to put me on antidepressants. And I said, let me try on my own because I believe I can change my mind. I don't believe that that's for everybody. I think that antidepressants and medications can truly help. And I don't think that there's any shame in it. Have you guys ever wondered what the true secrets of those multi-million-dollar practices are who feel like they just have it together? Their teams are awesome, the doctors aren't stressed out, they have raving fan patients, and they feel like they've got their lives? Well, if you want to know those secrets, you better be joining us April 28th and 29th, where we are releasing the secrets of the multi-million-dollar practices, from lifestyle to relationships to teams. And it is a full team virtual event. That's right, guys. You can bring your entire team for one price. Early bird pricing is going on right now. Normal ticket pricing is $9.99. Right now, guys, I am saving 50 spots, and when they're gone, they're gone. So right now, guys, from today until March 31st, you are going to get early bird pricing. And then when they're gone, they're gone. So I'm not promising until March 31st. I'm saying the first 50 offices to sign up are going to get to bring their entire team for 9 CE credits, full team event Friday, leadership day on Saturday, speaker lineup: Paul Goodman, Zeke from Swell, Tiffany Trader, Brittany Stone, Dana Morrisell, Tina Boyer. Our whole team is coming in. Plus, I'm bringing in financial advisors, CPAs, where they are literally going to tell you the secrets of the multi-million-dollar practice. So right now, head on over to thedentaleteam.com/summit 2023 and use coupon code EBIRD 2023. That's right, eBird 2023. You guys are going to get first access to this, and I would hate for you to miss it. Bring your team, learn the secrets of the multi-million-dollar practice, and become one. Join us this year, April 28th and 29th. I can't wait to see you guys there. Having coaches, having people to be there. Some people say when I coach them, they're like, Kiera, you should have been a life coach. And I'm like, honestly, I don't believe that I can do dentistry without coaching on life. Because they're both. You are not just a dentist or an office manager. You are a person. You are a person first. And so let's meet those needs. So for me, I'm going to give you guys this to be tactical. All right, you guys ready? I know I love tactical. So what it is I want you to break this down, and I want you to write down what is causing you the most stress. Okay? Don't solve. We often try to get into these modes where we're just like ready to go. We're wanting to solve. Right now is not the time to solve. Right now is to vomit all of this stress out of your brain. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing we're going to do from that is, I should do number 2. There you guys go. The second thing, so we're going to brain dump as number 1. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to then look to see what is the one that's causing the absolute most stress. And it's okay. You're probably going to swirl. You're going to do a figure 8 of, okay, it's this, and then you're going to loop, and then it's this, and then you're going to come back and it's this, and that's okay. But what is the thing truly keeping you up at night? What is that? All right. So for me, it was I didn't have an exit strategy. I felt trapped. Guys, the only exit strategy I could come up with, and this is going to get dark for a minute, and I just want to be honest with you because I think so many times we look at leaders and mentors, and I feel on the podcast, I am leading you guys, and I'm never going to sugarcoat, and you have my word for that. Some people sugarcoat, and how can you even measure up to a sugarcoat? You can't. Guys, I literally thought my exit strategy was I had to die. I saw no other out. I didn't think I could sell. And this isn't even my own pride and ego. Because before it used to be like, I would just be ashamed and embarrassed. Now it's like, I truly don't know how to get out of here other than dying. Well, that's not a great option, guys. It's not a great option for any of you. And some of you might feel that way. I knew for me, I did. That was causing me my anxiety, guys. That was causing my stress. That was causing me, like, when anything went bad with the business, I thought, well, great. Now I'm going to have to die because there's no way to get out of it. And that might sound dramatic. That's real. Those are my real feelings. And when I saw what happened to Twitch, I was like, oh, shoot, this is real. And it can be so fast. And I know I've had clients call me and they felt the same way. So number one, I decided that's no longer an option. So let's figure out what our biggest stressor is, and then let's see what the solution is. For me, I just had to figure out an exit strategy. All right, great. I came up with that, talking to my mom at midnight, and we were able to solve that. For some of you, you might not have mentors. You might not have people. You might need someone outside the box to figure it out for you because you're too close to it. So if it can be on systems or overhead or cash flow, guys, I'm a freaking wizard at that. I will teach you how to have massive cash flow in your business. I will literally teach you how this year I had over $200,000 excess from taxes that I don't need to pay. That's not loopholes. That was called I freaking figured out how to pay taxes, figured it out, figured out how to plan for it, figured out how to work myself out of the business to have it cash flow profit. That's why I feel confident that I can coach any person on how to do this. I've done it for myself and I've done it for hundreds of other practices. If it's stress that you can't be with your family and you feel like you're failing as a parent, there's a solution for that. If the stress is coming from that you don't know how to hold your team accountable, guess what? There's a solution for that. Whatever it is, there's either someone who knows how to do it for you or there's a solution. And sometimes when we're in that spot and it's preventing us from happiness, we've got to step back and bring someone else in to look at it. So that would be my third piece is who can help you with this? And guys, don't say nobody because you know somebody. Yesterday, I couldn't freaking figure out an org chart. And I build org charts for a living for people. So guess what I did? I stopped, walked away from the problem, sat there and thought, who do I know? Who do I know that could help me? Instantly, the ideas started flowing because now it's no longer my problem. I can find someone else to help me with it. Solution is not perfect, but at least it's on track. So now the next piece is we've made our list. We've looked at everything. We figured out what's truly causing us the biggest problem. And now we figured out who could help us. Do I need to hire a coach? Do I need to talk to my CPA? Do I need to figure out taxes? Do I need to read a book and educate myself on this more? What is really the issue? For me, guys, it was honestly just putting pictures up on the house. Like it sounds silly, but my house felt like a cold, sterile place and I felt so alone. That was second piece. So number one, I feel like I can't escape the business. Number two, I'm feeling alone in this isolated house that's awesome, but I have no pictures on the wall because I'm so scared of messing up. So I hung some pictures. Hung the freaking picture. Because I realized, guess what? Life is way too short. Let's hang the pictures. And number three, I found a friend. I didn't have any friends. I didn't feel like I had any friends. I didn't feel like I had anybody outside of work that I could chat with. And I needed that. Guys, I'm a social butterfly. Those were my needs. Those were the things causing me stress. And I created a plan. Then I executed. And reading Extreme Ownership, which we just did as a team, Extreme Ownership, I loved in there that they say discipline equals freedom. So then you've got the plan, you figured it out, you know who you need to call. What are you going to do? So for me, it was I started actually making progress. I hung the pictures. I had the plan of what I was going to do. I built a trust so that way, in case anything ever happens to me, the business and my clients are taken care of because that was causing me stress. I executed, I took action. There was someone who just came to me and they said, Kiera, I am out of money. I have a lot of debt. I don't know what to do. Guys, we literally Excel spreadsheeted this sucker out, found solutions, figured things out, mitigated, solved it. This person will be 100% out of debt by earliest June, latest October, and they're going to save $24,000 in a year. Somebody who was just like obliterated by debt needed a plan. So I feel like the way to solve for happy, the way to be happy all the time, and it's not always going to be there, and that's okay, is number one, decide right now that happiness is your baseline. That's who you want to be. That's what you're going to do, and that's what you're going to solve for. Number two, let's figure out what that freaking stress is. Number three, let's find out what the top stressor really is. What is the root cause? What is the real stress of your problems at night? And let's not mull about it in our heads. Let's actually put it on paper. And then who do you know that can help you? And then after that, go to work. Get it done. Make the phone call, schedule. Guys, was it expensive to make a trust? Yeah. I've got a bill over here for $5,000. That wasn't super thrilling for me. But guess what? That protects my business and I got to choose my hard. Is it harder to go spend $5,000 to build a trust and protect my business and my clients? Or is it harder to have the stress every single night because I don't want to do it? What's the harder piece? Is it harder to sit there and not know how you're going to pay yourself? Or is it harder to take that humility pill, call someone who knows how to help you? Is it harder to sit there and say, I don't have friends? Or Go join a gym class, which I've also done. I can't wait. I'm going to look like a freaking idiot, guys. But guess what? That is progress. And progress equals happiness, because then you start to build momentum of progress and solutions. And that's what you're craving. So guys, if I can help you, if our team can serve you, if our coaches can help get you out of that rut, email us hello@thedentalteam.com. You can reach out to me. Guys, I would love to, because this is what I'm passionate about. I need a coach. My mom, thankfully, is a great coach for me, but also I've outgrown her in a lot of ways, and I need somebody who can actually execute in the zone, who's truly an expert, who can really give me that solution. So if we can help you, awesome. And if not, baseline and commit that happiness is your baseline, that you deserve to be happy, that you are given this amazing life with these challenges to help you become the ultimate version of yourself. That is what this life is about, you guys. And I am going to sit here with you and I'm going to rally you, but you have to take ownership. I had to take ownership that what was really causing my stress is I didn't have a plan. And whose fault is that? That's mine. And I need to either call someone or figure it out. My house not being done. Guys, I even have a friend who's a designer who gave me all the plans. I just need to put the hole in the wall. Execute and take true ownership, and then commit you're going to go to work. Working out has been a huge saver as well. Working out, I read a post that said physical exercise is one of the best cures for depression. And it's crazy because you get those endorphins, you get that rush. And I'm not saying that depression can be solved with all this hoopla. What I'm saying is, here's some tacticals. Also, don't be afraid to reach out for help. I have doctors, I have therapists, I go and see other people. It's not just willpower, because willpower is not going to get you anywhere. Willpower is going to burn out. We're talking for the long haul. So if we can help you, I would love to help you. Don't be afraid, and just know you've got someone rooting for you, and you deserve to be happy. You can have it all. You can have a thriving business. You can have a thriving marriage. You can have a thriving relationship. You can have thriving kids, and you can be happy. To me, that's what this life is all about, is figuring out how to do it. And for me, I want to figure out how to do it sooner. And I believe it's a choice. I believe it's a journey. I believe it's a process. And I believe it's a skill that we learn. I don't believe we're just born this way. I believe that life shapes us. Life happens for us, not to us. All right, guys. As always, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time on the Dental AT Podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental AT Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.